Chris Bolts coming in with a review of Sinners. Now, talk about an awesome movie. This was such a great movie. Before I get into the review, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that good stuff really helps me out. This is an original movie from a really great director and a really great actor, Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. Now, they both came out a few years ago to revitalize the Rocky franchise with the excellent movie Creed. That one spawned its own trilogy, but they came together to bring us something that is completely and utterly original. This movie, Sinners, takes place during the antebellum South, and it can still be called the antebellum South because for the most part, even though the war has been over for close to 100 years at the point that this movie takes place in, which is 1932, you still got plantations, you still got towns that are disconnected from modern society. You still have these places don't have a lot of electricity everywhere, still using carts and horses and things and whatnot. And so it's a really good period piece. And it starts off with the new actor that's coming on the scene by the name of Miles Caton. At the beginning of the movie, you see him appear in this church. He's all in a state of disarray. He's got claw marks on his face. He's holding a broken guitar. And he walks into this church where it's pure white and all these parishioners sitting there getting a sermon, and all held. After that, it just flashbacks to a earlier time period of the movie, about a day earlier, and then you get introduced to these two guys right here, both played by Michael B. Jordan. Their name is Smoke and Stack. What a great name! What a great name and everything like that. And these are two brothers that fled to Chicago, coming back home to the south of Mississippi, and they're wanting to get their lives started all over. They don't really tell you why they came back to Chicago, but you can certainly theorize why they did, and the movie gives you enough to extrapolate why they came. And they team up with their cousin, who is this Michael Caton. He's a preacher's boy, and they discovered that he has the gift of music, and through music you can do all kinds of wonderful things. But in this particular instance, his music has the power to connect past, present, and future. And there's a really great scene where that actually happens. We'll get to that part there in just a minute. There's a really great scene in where that happens, and it really just encapsulates the entire movie. You have these clash of cultures, the blacks and the whites. But that's not what really matters in this movie or anything like that. Contrary to what some people might believe, that's not even the point of this movie or anything. You see that there's vampires in this movie, and it's just like, that's not the most important part of this movie either. And that's what's really cool about this movie, is that it just throws all these different types of genres into one original movie. This is something that Ryan Coogler had created from the ground up. Warner Brothers took a risk on this particular movie, and it paid off. And this is something that I have been talking about for years, since we saw so many remakes, remasters, sequels, prequels, midquels, whatever you want to say. Ryan Coogler decided to go to the drawing board and say, you know something, I have this idea. And Michael B. Jordan said, he got with Michael B. Jordan. Now I'm just putting it out there. So this is may or not have how it happened. And just putting it out there. And they got together and said, hey, I got this original idea. Michael B. Jordan said, I like that idea. I will play the character. You go ahead and write the script, and we'll go ahead and make it all work. And lo and behold, it does work. You got it's not really an all-star cast either. I think Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, who you just saw right there. Delroy Lindo is probably the biggest name in this particular movie. It does have Haley Steinfeld, if you from Bumblebee and Hawkeye season 1 fame. And then you got Michael B. Jordan playing the two different characters. You got Miles Caton. Miles Caton, man, like I said, this is his first movie, and he knocks it out of the park. It is phenomenal, his performance. And he could sing too, and he could play the guitar. I won't say there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie, because it's very, that's the thing about it. It's very formulaic, but that's fine. It works. It still works and everything. I'd say that that overall the weakest part of this entire movie is probably the third act. I would say that the third act is probably the weakest in this movie, and that's where they finally have the showdown with the vampires. I was more interested in just this period piece. I like period pieces. This reminded me of looking at The Color Purple or Fried Green Tomatoes, these movies that take place during an earlier time period that gives America a glimpse into its history. You know, we don't get a lot of those types of movies anymore. We don't get a lot of the westerns. We don't get a lot of the movies from the early 20th century, from the early 18th, from the 18th century, from the 19th century. Everything is pretty much here in the here and now. And it's pretty much because we keep focusing so much on sequels, on remakes, on remasters, on prequels to sequels to. But again, Ryan Coogler decided to go out and create this fusion masterpiece. And again, it all just comes together. It's something that everyone needs to experience at least once. I think somebody said that I was reading a YouTube title that said this movie changes Hollywood forever. No, this movie does not change Hollywood forever. This movie reminds Hollywood of its past, of when it used to take risks, of when it used to go out and make original movies, of when it used to say, we'll throw caution to the wind and we will go out and create these experiences that people will come to the cinema to see. We will not chase for the blockbuster. We will not chase for the almighty dollar. We will chase for people's time to just sit down and escape. There was no politics in this movie. I think I was listening to Legion of Geeks or whatever they're called, the Legion of Geeks podcast, and one of the hosts there was talking about going on a tirade about wokeness and all that. First of all, I don't know how anybody can come to the conclusion that this is quote unquote woke. It is not woke. It's not woke in the slightest or anything like that. All this stuff happened. White folks call black people the N-word. I can't say the N-word even though I want to say it. Black folks did call white folks the peckers and crackers and all that. I'll just say white folks did call black folks niggas. I'll use the blackified version of the word niggas. People were kind of juking and jiving like you just saw right there. Dude said, Miles Caton character said, I'd rather eat musty, you know what, than let you go and shower up because that's the way I want to taste it. It's like, you nasty little man. So this was not woke, but at the same time, it is not showing people's bigotry if you didn't like this movie, if you thought it was woke. I just don't agree with you on that. This all worked together. This is a movie that everybody needs to experience. I'm definitely going to buy this movie and own it on my 4K. I'm going to get the Steelbook edition when it comes out. 9 out of 10 stars. As I said, the weakest part really does come down to the third act. I don't want to spoil anything regarding the movie or anything. I do have a lot of questions about how Smoke got behind the final vampire, how he got out without getting, and how he actually took a bullet to the side and just really survived it for quite a long period of time, maybe just on stamina and whatnot. But there are some questions I still have, but overall it works. It really works. Again, 9 out of 10. This is something that you guys have to experience to appreciate. But you guys jump down in the comments and let me know what you thought. Did you guys go see Sinners? I know I'm trying to come lately on this, but I was glad that I was finally able to see it with my daughter. She really appreciated the movie. She really liked the movie. So it'd be interesting to see what her thoughts are. But you guys jump down in the comments and let me know. And make sure you guys do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that good stuff helps me out. And remember, this is Chris Bolt signing off, and I will catch you in the next video. You guys take it easy.